Hi all, right, back with more enemy action. Ardennes playing the Allied Soul. I decided to call this my take 2 of it though, because I do have a full playthrough of it out there. Admittedly it was about 4 years ago, but I suppose to keep it right with, if I do, in particular if I do put it out on BGG, it's better shown as a, so not to confuse. Whether I will do that or not, maybe just leave it on the channel. So this will be Allied Solo Take 2, Part 2. Yeah, I've just done the one part setup. Okay, well, I'm glad there's folk out there watching. Because you would think with just this setup, well, I'm saying I shouldn't be getting things wrong within this setup. The cards are a little fiddly and a little difficult to see at times. I suppose the mistakes I've made, or maybe I shouldn't have made. I should have seen then. But I have made a couple of mistakes. Martin, fortunately, brought them to attention. Now, let me find. I'll need to find the actual cards. I've got the cards set aside. So, give me a sec. He's time-stamped all the bits that I've. To be honest, it's the first and the second one were mistakes, and the next two were mistakes as well, but they were, as he points out, as a consequence, other units end up in the wrong hexes as well. So let me just find the right card. Right, so he's got this time stamped at the... Right, where are we here? No comments up. 29.5 minute mark. The cavalry unit also loses 1 step. Yeah, and this, I wasn't paying attention. I just wasn't looking at it carefully enough, and you've got to be careful. There's the cavalry unit there. Now, I'd rightly say that it gets pushed back, it retreats. But there's the card there, and you can see that we're looking at the image for this card, and you can see it's down to 1 step, 2 strength and 1 step. So that's what should have happened to this. Should have got hit, reduced, and then retreated once. So that should have been, that was that one. And then at the 39.5 minute mark, right, so it's in here. And again, this is the first card. There must have been there's a follow-up card to this. So this was a card that we're looking at the image. Oh no, maybe not, sorry. So, and Martin's commented that 423/106/18 core should retreat to 1107, not 1207. Well, here he's here. It's that guy there. And I'm glad he noticed this. I can't remember where it started. Well, it'll be on the unit where it started. It started in 1205, which was here. And you can see there, I've retreated it across the river. Okay? But it's not that bit of the river. It's this bit of the river. So it's been there, it's retreated into there, and then across the river there, and at 1107. Should retreat to 1107, not 1207. So I've got it in 1207. And it's just me not paying attention. You can see the wood, the forest there. It's right beside the forest, which is that hex there. I've just not looked at it carefully enough again. So that should have finished up there. Okay? And then because of that, I end up moving the other units to the wrong... as a consequence, the other units end up in the wrong hexes as well. And then he highlights 40 at the 41 minute mark. 244 battalion should advance to 1106, not 1206. This is 244 battalion. I've got an 1206, which I've just put it adjacent to where it shows me. Shows me in the picture. It's not there. It's there. And at 41 and 15 seconds, the 6250. What is that? 66 core should advance to 1205, not 1305. Which one is it? 62. It's this one here. So I've got it showing. Yeah, I've got it showing here, but I mean, I don't know why I didn't see that one, because that's not adjacent to that unit, is it? That's so that should be 1205 in there. Yeah, should advance to 1205, not 1306. Okay. So, no, mate. Well, it was kind of a big mistake because like that's taking a step loss, and this is in a different bit altogether. So, but okay, that's good. Well, thanks for bringing that up, Martin. Here was me thinking that like I wouldn't need any help with the first part of the video to keep me straight on anything. But I think, to be honest, I think the last time I played it, I think Martin corrected a couple of things there as well in the setup. It is just a little fiddly to follow and keep straight and whatever. And it just shows you've really got to look at it carefully. The thing is, everything's quite small on the card, so it's also difficult. You're sort of picking out other bits. I was picking out sort of the shape of the river, and I thought I had it right. But if you look, the river does shape like that quite a bit. You can't just go by that. Anyway, okay, that's that all sorted. All the other comments, thanks for all the birthday wishes from everybody. Appreciated. And that's it. So let's try and get on with things now. Right, okay, let's get going. So, well, what have we got in our hand? 4 cards in our hand. No command. That's 12 core. Division card. 5th core, that's a full core card, and 8 core card. So that's our 4 cards. We're going first, aren't we? Yeah, it's always tricky to decide what to do. So reserve wise, we've got 2 units from the 8 core. So I remember we're looking at the actions with either the arrow or the A. We're not considering the G, or there's one there that shows 2-player. So that's for the 2-player game, and the G is for the German solo. We're playing Allied solo. This is quite powerful. It allows us to use, well, maybe not so in an attack. And I want to say the 16th. You can't use artillery combat tactics, but you can use core artillery. I will be double checking these things. So probably not as my attack. I've only got 1 5th core unit in the reserves. I've got 2 of the 12 core ones from 4th division. Yeah, the 4th infantry division. So I mean we could. I mean, it deploys the 4th and the 10th armour, but I don't think the 10th armour come in until later in the game, do they? Yeah, I can see them on turn... Well, actually, it's the 18th, I think. There's 2 units that looks like they're coming on the 18th. But I mean, you're not going to... you're going to use the card before then. So it's quite feasible to use that for a reserve deployment, or the 8th core one. The 8th core one are 2 armoured units though. 2 of these guys. And they've got the wee S as well, which means they can be strategically deployed rather than just the normal method. The normal method's quite restrictive to where they've got to go close to another unit, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the strategic one can they can go further back. So I suppose that's a consideration, to play one of these cards for deploying these reserves. We can't blow bridges or anything like that. I want to say again as well. Now, have I got some stuff? There's player aids here. I've got some stuff printed out. Let's see. There's going to be lots. Yeah, here we go. Special. This is for the Allied solo. So special rules here. Hang on. We've got that space. That's why I left the space. Right. Nah, you can see the lamp's going to get picked up there, though, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's not in the way there, so, and I can zoom in and get rid of it, I suppose. I don't think I'm going to avoid that glare there at night anyway. And being the winter time, the light's going to be on probably a lot. We'll see. That's fine just now. So there are special December 16th rules. That's about skipping the German impulse. We've done all that. Allied non-mechanised units may only move 1 hex when activated. Does not apply to a unit moving via the raise the alarm event or reinforced battle combat tactic. You may not blow a bridge. You may not play the artillery combat tactic, but you may play the core artillery combat tactic. Initial German supply. German units are in full supply through December 16th, 17th and 18th, regardless of our situation, exception the VIII event. Well, we've got the VIII unit out there. And then fuel shortages come on the 20th. Yeah, so it's just that. That's a point. Did we have any events? I didn't really look. Well, apart from the no command one. Well, we've got the engineers event on this card. That's just for the German solo. Yeah, and we do have the raise the alarm one. Raise the alarm. Where's the best place to... Are these on a card as well, the events? Yes, they will be, won't they? German system events and tactics. Allied player events and tactics. Here we go. Raise the alarm I was looking for. Where is it? It's down the bottom. Raise the alarm. Move any one unit as full movement allowance, and remember that was, although they were restricted, not restricted by this. So we could move a non-mechanised unit as full movement using strategic movement if eligible, or deploy one unit from the reserve units box. Deploy the unit normally or as a strategic reserve, even if not so designated. So that's good as well. I'm saying that, I mean, that's on... What was that on? That's on this card. And I think I'd rather use that to deploy the 2 8th Corps units. I think that probably makes more sense, doesn't it? And the other things on the cards, they're going to activate the units. You know, we could deploy, we could activate all the units in 8 Corps. I mean, there's quite a lot, but I mean, what are we going to do with them? I think some of the best things to do would be to build an IP. So this is going to take me some time to like catch back up and get things moving along, like, because I feel like a bit of a headless chicken at the moment. German system intelligence, Kirill summaries, right. I just mean most of the stuff you can find on the playraids, but you're not going to find everything. Combat procedures. Yeah, no, you're going to need a bit more of the actual rules, I think. That's all the playraids I've got out anyway. Okay, not to worry. Yeah, I'm building IPs. Page 59. At the end of an allied activation, you may place IP markers on active allied units in supply or low supply that did not move or attack in the activation. Now, where can you not build? Dispersed units may not build an IP. An IP marker may not be placed in a town or city, or in a hex that already has an IP. Yeah, okay. So yeah, what I'm saying is we could activate the 8th Corps. That's in a town, so wouldn't be able to build an IP. So is that, but they get benefits from being in the town as well, and that's in Corvo. So you can see there that there's no real point. I mean, I could activate all that core, and I don't know. Yeah, not going to do an awful lot. I'm not going to start attacking anything, you know. We're sitting on the defence at the moment, and in actual fact, we want to get more units out there to try and defend things. So, yeah, I think I'm either going to... Is there a worry? I remember I glanced back in the first part, and I think I played my no command card for the engineers event to build a couple of roadblocks. I think that's what that does. If we look at the event, engineers, roadblocks, place 2 roadblock markers, each one in a non-clear road hex and ally supply, not adjacent to a German unit. Remember, we can't blow bridges on the 16th. But the reason we might want to consider roadblocks is because they have broke through here, if 58 Corps activate again, where could he reach? It's 5 movement. Now, well, actually, no, this guy's dispersed, Grant, isn't he? So, in actual fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, he can go into VIII. Maybe not what he's showing you quite that. So, if he activates again and we don't do anything about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's us lost that city. Or, I mean, he could probably get into St. Vith as well. 1 in the clear, 2, 3 in the clear, 4, 5. You could go into St. Vith as well. The other ones, I want to say there's restrictions about coming across the bridges as well, is there not? Or is that just a first impulse? Which doesn't really affect, I think that was the first German impulse. I want to say you could only put, one unit could only move across a bridge. And see, this bridge has been repaired as well. So, nah, but hold on, he's holding zone of control there. He's not dispersed. So yeah, these aren't going to be able to rush across as well. But this unit could move into St. Vith or VIII. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's only 2. You can maybe reach there. 1, 2. No, I can't. I can't reach there. But these are 2 cities. They're victory points. So, yeah, I mean, we could take a gamble. What's the chances of them activating next turn? Well, I'd rather probably not take that chance. So, probably would be better building roadblocks rather than deploying these reserves. Now, what about up here, though? There's not an actual gap here, but this is dispersed as well. This is holding zone of control. So, this is keeping things tight. Yeah, so nothing can stroll through there. And then further up the north part there's nothing. I don't think anything bad really happened up there. It was just the bad bit was down here in the middle here. Because even the 47th have been held for now. Okay, they shoved this guy back. Because he would have started. Well, actually, he started the other side of the river, didn't he? 5, 6, 7. No, he started in there. So has been moved back a little bit, but he's not dispersed. So this guy can't just go 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't just dash away that way. So I think we should probably protect VIII and St. Vith. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to play a manual command for the engineers event. Well, hold on, Grant. What if you deployed it? Nah, if you deployed the 8 Corps, where they deploy, you can see there's a boundary line there. It's the orange one. So it goes right up. Well, actually, it goes right up to this line here. So I still believe, even strategically, I need to place them within. Well, actually, that would. Well, I'm saying it would work. Let's look at the deployment procedures then. Is that on player aids? Probably not. As Allied Reserve deployment. So remember, we'd be able to do these strategically. Well, actually, this is 8th Corps, isn't it? Yeah, that one's not. Well, I was doing it normally. It needs to be within the unit's Allied Corps area, so this line or below. So I could actually, well, it's possible I could actually deploy one right in St. Vith, and then the other one could be deployed just outside VIII to stop this guy from doing his shenanigans. I'm not sure I want to do this, I'm just saying. Inner road hex is a valid friendly supply head. Yeah, both of them would apply. Now, here's the problem though. At least 3 hexes away from any non-isolated German unit or German town or city. 2 hexes if it's a map edge hex. So here would not work because we're only 2 away. So right away I cannot, and I couldn't put it there because I'm then only 2 away from there. So you can see I'm restricted to being able to do it. And I think, to be honest, the strategic way, although it allows you to deploy things further back, it wouldn't allow me to do this because I think I need to be 5 hexes away, don't I? I don't have the other restrictions. Well, the other restriction which I didn't read out there was within 3 hexes of a unit in the same division, if not possible, within 3 hexes of a unit in the same corps. Well, in actual fact, see, there's 2 of them to deploy, and this is in the same division. So in actual fact, I would need to deploy them if I didn't use the strategic deployment within 3 of this guy. So because there's one, I've got one in the same division. However, the strategic does not. There's no you don't need to be within 3 a unit. In fact, you don't need to be within 3 of any unit. You just need to be at least 5 hexes away from an enemy unit. So that doesn't really work for me. So I think I'm going to go for the roadblock option, and then next turn hopefully we can deploy the armored reserves. Okay, so engineers event. Allied event, right. Engineers, roadblocks. Place 2 roadblock markers, each one in a non-clear road hex, non-clear road hex. Right, that's fine. I think, to be honest, they could both go in the towns, couldn't they? The cities. Actually, I'm calling them cities. I don't think they are cities, are they? I think the cities are Liège here. It's got a red boundary around that. You can see it's all looks like a city. Verviers there, and Hoy or Huy or whatever it's pronounced, and Namur. They're all cities, I think. I think these are classed as towns still. It's just some of them are bigger towns and have victory points. I could be wrong with that. I dare say it's in. Oh, you know what? I'm at that page in the book. Look, towns and cities. That was fortunate. Yeah, so it's showing a town as that, and a city as that. So, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's not really highlighting the ones that have got the victory points like that, is it? Is it? Not retreat an enemy town or something. Start to play all towns east of the. Yeah, well, I mean, it shows them like that. I don't think it really matters. It's a town or a city anyway. So. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is just the ones bordered with the red. Maybe somebody will keep me right and tell me for sure. So, two roadblock markers, each one a non-clear road hex in ally supply, not adjacent to a German unit. See 10.8 for the effects. So what it does is it stops a German unit approaching. It's got to stop. May not enter a hex with a roadblock. Effects of allied roadblocks. A German unit may not enter a hex with a roadblock marker at any time. Must stop moving or advancing upon entering a hex. Let's say A adjacent to the roadblock's hex, and B has a direct road connection to that hex with the roadblock. It need not stop if it enters a hex adjacent to a roadblock but not connected by road, or if it is retreating. So where's some roadblocks? Got a couple of roadblocks because I think that's what we're going to do. There we go. So where was I saying? So yeah, if it approach, you can see that all approaches to St. Vith are coming from a road. But let's say VIII, let's say we had the roadblock in there, and this German unit approached from there. It wouldn't need to stop as such, would it? I'll just put that right back in the right place. I did, yeah. Well, that's what that said there, isn't it? It need not stop if it enters a hex adjacent to a roadblock but not connected by road. Roadblock markers do not... Yeah, but if it wouldn't get rid of the roadblock, would it? It can move in there, can it? It may not enter hex with a roadblock marker at any time, yeah. It would have to stop moving. If it moved like that, it would have to stop there because it's moved to a road that's adjacent to it. If it moved to there, it wouldn't have to stop, but then it couldn't move. It also couldn't move in there. What it does is when it starts its next activation, the first thing that a German unit checks is it adjacent to a roadblock? If it is, you remove the roadblock. So if it's sitting there and it activates again, that comes away and then it can just move in there and take the town, the city. Town, I think. Right, so are we better just place them both? These are going to be an allied communication. Sorry, not allied supply is the word I was looking for. And they're not adjacent to a German unit. Yeah, I think it's better. I think it's better just putting them in the actual towns, isn't it? Just in case there's a little slip up and we mess things about, and then they stroll on round the back or something like that. You know, yeah, I mean, because if I put that there, for instance, and let's just say there was a unit able to come along there, it doesn't need to stop there, so you could just move straight in. So let's just put one in St. Vith and one in VIII. Okay, and that was my card. So just going back, no, because I don't want to go over everything, Grant. I know I have to do a little bit for myself, admittedly. So I was looking for yeah, Allied Impulse. Just looking the sequence of play bit, really. Play one card to initiate one command of your choice. You can activate all units, or once per day activate any one unit, or deploy reserve, or assign replacements from the 20th, or implement the command event or special event. That's what we've done. So we've not activated. If we had activated, we would remove German attachments adjacent to active allied units. We would carry out some movement. We could then carry out some combat by playing also additional combat tactics. We could then build improved positions on units that haven't done anything. And we would then, that's a point, we would then remove disperse markers. So if we had activated the 8 core units at the end of that activation, this guy would lose his disperse marker. However, you'll notice he's just a one-step unit and bracketed, which is just the same as being dispersed, if I recall, which means he doesn't exert his own control round about because he's just one step. Okay, that's me played my card. So that's my impulse over. So this gets discarded. It's not a primary discard, so we just discard that in the supplemental discard. If you do it that way, it keeps things easier for the next turn. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a slow sort of start. So now do I draw back up to my 5 cards? I think I do. So you may pass instead of playing a command card. Doing so ends your impulse. If you have no cards, you must pass. After completing a command or passing, draw cards from your draw pile, if available, to bring your hand up to the allied hand size limit for the day. German impulse then begins. Right, and the calendar up there got a lot of information on it, but at the back of the rule book, I'll swing along there. You can see that it's got a copy of the calendar, which is really necessary because you've got all either that or put the reserve units somewhere else so you could see. But the calendar's it's way up in that corner. So the information that's sort of relevant to our German fixed artillery range. Available supplemental cards to add to the Allied draw pile. Allied supplemental cards 4. Allied hand size 4. I thought our hand size was 5. No, that's right, 4. Yeah, we played 1 card, we've got 3 cards left. Okay, so our hand size is 4. And again, special rules in effect. German surprise attacks completed. 11 cards starting German discard pile. Yeah, we've done all that. Slow allied reaction, well, we talked about that as well. Okay, good stuff. Right, we're going to draw back up to our hand size of 4. So our card draw is... So 8 core, oh that's good. That's really good because now we can use this to deploy the reserves. It deploys the 101st Airborne and the 9th Armoured Division, but the 101st aren't, yeah, they don't come until the 18th as well. But we can use this card to deploy the 2 armoured units now as well. Well, rather than that. And that's a better card to be using for, you know, we can use this to activate all the core, or maybe the raise the alarm, or whatever. Okay, so that was quite good. It was quite handy, that because if I'd played that there to deploy them, I would have then drawn that thinking, damn, I could have waited on that. I suppose, again, similar to what the other game I'm playing across another table, the people that are in the know more and they know all the cards, they would have known this was, oh no, this is a supplemental card actually. They would not have known if this was in the deck or not. So there you go. We definitely, you get the primary cards every single day. However, the supplemental ones, they chop and change. We've got this today randomly, but we won't get it for the next day, and we might not see it the next again day because it's randomly selected. So you can't. That's why it keeps it all nice and random and whatever. Right, let's do a German Impulse. I can see I'm not going to get through much today. To be honest, I didn't have an awful lot of time, but just wanted to get another bit done. So let's do a German Impulse then. Right, so at the start, we're going to draw 2 cards. One's going to be the German command card, one's going to be the German support card. That's based on the... Well, I'll tell you in a second. Right, so we're going to draw 2 cards. So like one is a command card, other is a support card, per 8.1. Right, I'm reading this on page 21 of the rule book. Right, so if we've got the primary card is going to become the command card, right? And to be honest, there's no primary cards, is there? Because they're all being discarded. So we're going to draw 2 cards, right? So we get 47 core. Good. Not. Right, well, it's going to be something with the 47 core, so we've got 2 of them. So if any of these had been primary, that would have been going in the command card. If neither or both of them were primary, we then look at the command value. The highest command value, that's got a command value of 3, that's got a command value of 1. So the one with the highest command value becomes a command card, and the one with the lowest becomes a support card. There we go. Right, and then first thing we do, excuse me, I should probably move my hand out of the way just now. The first thing we do is check for an event on the support card. Is that right? If the support card has a command event, implement the event and discard the card. There's no event, is there? No. No event. So unless this gets used as a combat tactic, which I tell you what, it might well do. It's got reinforced battle, so yeah, this could be bad. Well, none of it's going to be good at the start, but okay. So there's no event. So we then, and it's only just command events. It's not special events. You wouldn't do a special event on this card. Okay. So on the command card now, we look back at the command card, and we read through the eligible commands, those marked with the arrow or the A in order, and we perform the first command that is possible to carry out. When the command is completed, place the command card in the discard pile. Okay, carries on to talk about bonus combat tactics. If the units are activated by a command card and support card lists an applicable combat tactic, that combat tactic may be applied to an attack. Like I've just said, it may well be that they're going to use that as a reinforced battle. I think they also get to draw a combat tactic, but they can use this as well if it's different and you know, if they can use it basically. Okay, so the first instruction's a G, so we're not doing that, we're not playing the German. So next one, assign 2 replacement points to cores, but that starts on the 20th. So no. Right, so we're going to activate all units in the core. So we're going to activate 47 core, right? Okay, this is one of the strongest cores, that and the first ASS. We've got the most units at the start of the game anyway. Okay, Grant. Where do we go now? German unit activations. Okay. Well, we're going to have to place an objective marker for it, aren't we? German unit activations. Remove Allied roadblock markers adjacent to active German units. So all the 47 units, the purple ones they are, all of them are becoming activated. There's no robots adjacent to any of them. That's step 1. Step 2 is check the location of the objective marker for the army to which the active units belong, relocating it if required, 9.1. Right, so we're going to have to do that. Now, there's 3 corps that have their own, they have a core objective marker, but there's also 3 army objectives as well. The 47 just has an army objective, it doesn't have the core one. So where are they? There are another box. There they are. So we need they are the 5th Panzer Army. So have they got I think they've got 2 markers, haven't they? Yeah, they do. So they can actually go north, west, or south. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Right, so Right, so how do we set up an army objective? 1 corps on each, yeah, I've done that. Placing a moving army objective. Objective not yet on the map, and I'm on page 24 here. I'm not going to look at the rules unless we're carefully looking at a rule. I'll try and tell you what bit I'm looking at in the rulebook if you want to follow along. Objective not yet on the map. This is 9.11, second paragraph. If the marker is not yet on the map, roll the die, cross-reference the die result with the army on the following table. Place the objective marker and indicate text with a side showing the indicate compass direction, face up, northwest or south. Isn't that on one of the play raids as well? Might not be. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we can have a little look at that. Right, so we're needing a die, aren't we? I don't remember seeing the dice. And maybe that's the problem sometimes. When you put a game away, if you sometimes leave the dice lying. I've got dice. It's a D10, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Give me a sec. Right. Well, I had a D10 across at the other table. Whether it's not necessarily the one that came with the game. I can't see a dice lying about though. So. Right. So we're gonna roll a dice, and yeah. Objective marker, it doesn't say first objective there, but you can see this is for the second objective. This would be for the third objective. So it's just the 3 bits at the top for the first objective. You can see that we're the 5th Panzer Army, so the darker one in the middle. So a 1 to 6 is going to go Houffalize west, 7 to 9 it's going to go Bastogne north, or a 10 it's going to go Vilsam west, okay? So, zoom out. Right, 5. Bit of a thumpy 5, but that's the way it goes. That's going to be Bastogne, isn't it? Was it? No. Houffalize west. It's a 5. That was a 1 to 6. So Houffalize west. So we take the 5th Panzer Army 1 marker with it's got the west side on it, which is that. And we're putting that in Houffalize, which is here. So this marker, it doesn't matter if it's not. Doesn't matter if there's allied units there or not. It's just this is then what they're going to focus on. That's where they're going to head. And it's the 5th Panzer Army, not just the 47 Corps. The 58 Corps. That's going to be their army objective as well. Okay, so that's that. So what's the next step? So we move active on-map units according to the movement methods in 9.2, and then we'll come the 17th, we place German detachment markers behind as well. Okay, right, this is the big stuff now. Right, so we're going to check them all in an ascending order. Is that right? Well, sorry. in ascending or descending, depending on the description. Some of the movement methods use it in ascending order. Some move it in descending order. So we're going to check. Really kind of need the rule book out here, really. I mean, this is the big bit about this. These are all the movement methods. Movement methods 1 to 4, 5 to 9, and then you've got 10 to 13 to finish. 10 to 13 is done slightly differently. You use them one at a time. First of all, what we're going to do is check every unit to see if they can do any of these things, right, first. So rather than pick a unit at the moment, can any of them exit the map? No. Can any of them move adjacent to the Meuse River? No. Sorry. That's the two. These are the special moves. Can any of them enter an empty allied VP hex? Well, I suppose you should have a look at that, but... so an empty allied VP hex. I mean, the answer's no, but right now, if we hadn't placed a roadblocks there, and this was the 58th Corps that were activated, and we hadn't placed the roadblocks, then this guy, yes, would be able to move into there or there. You know? The other ones wouldn't, but he would have been able to do that. But as for the 47th, they're stuck. This guy's holding the line, just holding it. So, I mean, there is a gap here, but they're coming across the river, and when you cross the river, use up, you can't carry on unless you're crossing by a bridge. You're going to use up all your movement to cross the river. These are armoured units, you know. And for infantry as well. I think that's right. I think you spend all your movement to cross, don't you? So they were the first three. So none of them applying. So they were the movement methods 1, special moves. So movement method 2 is closer to objective and next to a VP hex. So can they move to a hex that's both closer to a unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex? Well, I don't think so, but I'll have a glance. So, like I've said, moving... Let's make sure we get all this right, though. About movement. I mean, there's lots of restrictions here. Yeah, I mean, a unit crossing an unbridged river, hex side, with the following restrictions. A unit must spend its entire movement allowance to cross an unbridged river hex side. That is, the unit must start its move in a hex bordering the river hex side to be crossed and end its move upon entering the hex across the river hex side. So you can't move, I can't use this unit and move into here, and then use the rest of the movement to cross. It's got to be adjacent to the river. It's got to cross and spend all its movement, right? So let's not bog ourselves down with too much more. And bridged river. I suppose I should look at the bridge. There's no limit to the number of units that may cross a bridge river hex side. And I think there is in the very first impulse. But because the German special thing happened, I think they've dealt with all that. Unless the hex being entered is in enemy control. There's no limit to the number of units that may cross a bridge river hex side unless the hex being entered is in enemy control. So crossing this bridge here that we've got repaired, and there's only 2 units, and stacking limits are 3 units or 6 steps, or is it just 6 steps? No. It'll be 3 units or 6 steps, Grant. And the one you've got to watch with that is the Piper unit in particular can catch you because it's got 3 steps. There's more units with more than 3 steps. There's some that have 4, isn't there? Stacking limits. I thought I would find it in the rules. Not seeing it. It'll be at the beginning somewhere, won't it? Right, hang on a second. God, I was hunting about at the beginning of the book, and I was actually at the bit where I had the book open to I've just been reading. It's just after talking about crossing river hex sites. 10.4 on page 36, stacking units. More than one friendly unit may occupy a hex. This is called stacking. The maximum number of units that may occupy a hex is 3 units or 6 steps. So, like I say, you've got to watch for the units that got more than 2 steps, because obviously then you're not getting 3 units stacked. So we can stack 3 units. These guys have just got 2 steps each. Right, so one of these could come across into there. Now, yeah, I mean, let's say there was more space in that hex, stacking wise. But because of that rule, that restriction, this unit has, this hex is an enemy zone of control, this hex here. So crossing over this bridge, you'd only allow 1 unit to cross across that bridge. Okay. Yeah, so like I say, I'm not going to bog myself down too much for that. So let's go back to the movement. So can we move to a hex both closer to a unit's army objective and adjacent to an allied VP hex? I'm pretty sure not. So the nearest sort of VP hex for these guys, remember this is a town that's not a VP hex though. This is probably the nearest one. I mean, you've got St. Vith and Vale Sam up there, and you've got Ettlebrook down here. But they can't move. If he moves, he can only move into there or there. That's it. These are going to struggle to move because they can't move from zone of control to zone of control. You know, these are across the river. Hang on. These are infantry. So they've got a movement of 3. That's the number on the right. But if he moves into there, he's got to then stop because he's in a zone of control of an allied unit, an enemy unit. If he moves into there, he's got to stop. So again, he can only move there or there. And that's the whole point of keeping a line here and not having gaps open up, you know. Because if there was no zone of controls, this guy could move 1, 2. Well, actually, I can't remember the terrain costs as well. What is that? That is woods, isn't it? That's woods, and then you've got forest. So woods is 1 for non-mech and 3 for mechanised. Whereas forest is 2 for non-mech, so 2 for infantry. But for infantry, this could move 1, 2, 3. Well, in fact, that's down the road, sorry. That would be moving from the road there anyway. But you can't, because this is zone of control, so you can't stop that. Right, okay. I think you're going into this too much. You didn't want to be trying to teach the whole bumbling game. Okay, so look, there's no units, there's no VP hexes they can move adjacent to and get closer to their army objective. Remember, this is their army objective as well. So actually going down to this one wouldn't be part of that. So the next movement method is 3, is to cause surround. Right, so that means trying to surround a unit. Now it means having zone of control right around that. Right, I'm going to have to start skipping by things and just sort of saying, look, can't do that. I'm not one to really try and teach the whole game. And to be honest, I've done a whole set of videos on this, so whether I mean, that's when I first started doing the videos, so I might not have explained things as well as I maybe do now. I don't know, maybe not. We can't cause surround, I don't think. Again, they're limited to what these can move. You know, it's more than likely that something's going to happen, something like that. This is going to cross into here. This is probably going to move into there. They're going to attack this guy, right? That's probably what's going to happen. So let me skip by some of the movement methods, because we can't surround that. And remember, we're looking at each individual unit, and the arrows there that was the down arrow. So that means in descending order. So we'd be looking at the unit with the highest selector number. There's a 15 there. So it's like, can this guy surround anybody? This is the guy we look at first. Can he move and surround? Well, if he could get right to there, then yeah, that's that guy surrounded, because his zone of control right out. But he can't move from here away around there. So let's just skip on by. Right, the next step, movement method is 4. but only comes into play from the 19th, which would be to open supply line. So movement methods 5 to 9 come next. They enable German infantry units to strengthen the German lines. Number 5, move adjacent to an Allied VP hex. Then they can't do it. Right? They can't do it. We already looked at can they move adjacent to an Allied VP hex and get closer to their army objective. Well, no, they can't do it. Can they enter an empty town? No. Can they move adjacent to an Allied unit or town? So, possibly. Right, in descending order, infantry, this is just infantry, by the way, from the 16th to the 22, these movement methods 5 to 9 apply to non-mechanized infantry. From the 16th to the 22nd. So this is mechanized. These are mechanized. These three are mechanized. That's a layer, isn't it? Yeah. That's mechanized. This is infantry, and these two are infantry. So these are the only ones that we're talking about. Okay. So in descending order, so we've got 14, 9, and 13 there. So we're looking at the 14 one. So can he infantry move adjacent to an Allied unit or town to which no non-bracketed German infantry unit is adjacent? Yeah, he can't. No, he can't. Because this guy here is going to have to cross the river. I mean, he could come in. No, that's overstacking. So no, he can't. He can't. However, the next one to check is selector number 13 here. Right? Infantry move adjacent to Allied unit or town to which no non-bracketed German infantry unit is adjacent. Right? There's more to read. So he can move from here to here and be adjacent to... Sorry. He can move from here to here and be adjacent to this. However, these are non-bracketed infantry units already adjacent anyway. So that's not any good. However, there's no non-bracketed infantry unit adjacent to this. So in actual fact, I think we're going to get our first move here. Yeah, and if the unit is already the only non-bracket German infantry unit adjacent to an Allied town or unit, the German unit does not move and its movement is considered complete. Let's just check I'm getting this right. Infantry move adjacent to Allied unit or town to which no non-bracketed German infantry unit is adjacent. Yeah, so he's going to move from there into 1808. Boom, like that. Right, then we check selector number 9 because he's next. Because remember, we're going down the way. That's the highest to lowest. Now, can he? Well, no, because there's already that there. That's already got a unit adjacent, so he can't. So we move on. Movement method 8. Enter town occupied by German armour. Is there any German armour just occupying a town? What it wants to relieve the armour. The infantry moves in, relieves the armour, and the armour can move away and do other things. None of these armoured units are in towns that any of the infantry could move into. Remember, we're only looking at these two infantry units now. So no, that was method 8. And then movement method 9 is to relieve a detachment, but that only comes into play from the 18th. So that's us right down to movement method 10 now. And there's only 10, 11, 12 and 13 to go. And we've only moved one unit. So, but now, how you check 10 to 13, you do this for each unit not yet moved, one unit at a time. So what we do is we check, and we do this in ascending order. In other words, check the lowest numbered unit. Yeah, beginning with the lowest numbered unit. So we're going to check the lowest numbered unit first, and we're going to check method 10 for it. We're going to check method 11 for it, 12, and then 13. Then we're going to check the next lowest numbered unit. Okay, so the first one is follow movement arrows. Right, let's see our numbers here. So we've got 9, 14, 15, 6, 4, so I'll put 4 on top here. 4, we've got 8 there, but we've got 3 and we've got 2 down the bottom, haven't we? So Number 2 is the first one to be looking at, right? Oops. So number 2, can he move the movement arrows? He can't go anywhere. He can't move anywhere because he's in a zone of control. The only way he can move is go back the way. So he can't move his movement arrows. His movement arrows, you can see the primary one is going that way. The secondary one's going up that way. He can't move with them, right? So no, he can't do movement method 10. Movement method 11, move closer to army objective. Now, the other thing here is there's restrictions, isn't there? 9.25 is it, probably? There's tactical adjustments when moving adjacent to allied units. These are 2 important rules. 9.24 and 9.25. 9.25 movement methods. No, sorry. 9.25 is for unsupplied units. Is there not? Okay, sorry, it's 9.21. Restrictions on German movement. These are applicable to units moving via methods 2 to 13. So if it was movement method 1, they don't have these restrictions because they're doing something pretty important. Right, so quickly going through these. Do not move a unit starting adjacent to a VP hex occupied by allied units with strength 5 or less, 3 or less in a city, unless moving to another hex adjacent to the same VP hex. B. Do not move a unit if doing so will cause a currently surrounded allied unit to become no longer surrounded. C. Do not move a unit out of a town, city or west wall hex, leaving the hex vacant, if doing so would result in allied supply being traceable to the hex. D. Do not move if doing so would create a condition in which allied supply is traceable to an empty German town, city or west wall hex. These restrictions apply to every hex of German movement and advance after combat. And then there's some movement tiebreakers. So what will we try to do? Move closer to army objective. Again, he can't. He can't move closer to his army objective. He's stuck in this sort of sticky zone of control. He can move from there to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He moves to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's moving away from his army objective, so no. And remember, he's got to spend all his movement for crossing. Well, he could cross the bridge. Hang on. Now, hang on. Moving out of a zone of control costs you 1 movement point as well. So it would be 1, 2 to move across there. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's still 6 away. Maybe you can't quite see that, but he is. So he can't move closer to his army objective. No? No, he can't. Right, so then movement 12 is to infiltrate towards his army objective. Actually, I think this is possible, is it not? So 1 non-bracketed unit only is eligible for this move if in supply and stacked with at least 1 other active non-bracketed unit that is not yet moved. So remember, we're looking at selector number 2 here, and he is stacked with another unit that's not yet moved and is active. If these requirements are met, the unit moves 1 hex to a hex closer to, not the same distance from, the unit's army objective, regardless of allied zones of control. A mechanised unit may not infiltrate across a river or into a forest hex. That's not forest, that's woods. Upon completion of this move, all active units in the hex from which the move began are considered to have moved. Movement by this method is allowed to only 1 unit per activation. I think he's going to do this, isn't he? He's not breaking any of the restrictions. He can only move 1 hex. He moves from here to here. He's then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from his army objective. He is going to do this. We're going to have an infiltration move right away. So he moves into there, and because of the way the move works, this guy, although he's not moved, upon completion of this move, all active units in the hex from which the move began are considered to have moved. Well, actually, he's considered to have moved. So I've tilted him as well, so he can't now do anything. And they're tilted, they can still attack, but it's just they can't. That's to say that they've moved. So that's him done. So then we would be looking at unit number 3. Well, we've done that. Next one's 4. So we go back to step movement method 10. Can he follow his movement arrows? Well, he can move into this hex, which would be following his primary movement arrow. However, I'm not going to get this impulse even done, I think, in this part. Yeah, give me a sec. Hopefully I can get them all moved. I don't think, because there's going to be an attack set up. I'm going to have to keep that till the next part, I think. Right, so, but to move with the movement arrows, it says move if able to expend the unit's full movement allowance moving in the direction indicated by movement arrows. It's got to spend its full movement allowance. Extended moves don't start until 17th. Right, so we're looking at selector number 4, aren't we? So you can see he's only got one movement arrow and it's going that way. So if he moves from there to there, he's then got to stop. Because he's crossing a bridge into an enemy zone of control. So he can't move the movement arrows, right? And keep that in mind for the other two that are underneath him as well, just to try and speed things up. So can he move closer to his army objective? Well, by moving across there, maybe. But he could also move here. So if he moves to move here, he's clearly getting closer, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's in there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or he's in there 4, 5, 6, or in actual fact there. So he's got a few possibilities. Closer to, not the same distance. Now, more than one hex is closer. Move to a hex adjacent to an allied unit against which the moving unit has a combat strength advantage of at least 3 to 1. Including this calculation, all German units adjacent to the target, all active units in the reserve units box. Right, there's no active units in the reserve units box. And all active on-map units proximate to the target that have not yet moved. If no hex or more than one hex offers a 3 to 1 advantage, move to the hex closest to the objective. So we've got a 3 to 1 advantage on this. He's got 4, 8, 11 against 3. If that comes in, that's 15 against 3. We've got 5 to 1 odds, haven't we? Yeah. So, however, can he move? He can't move adjacent to any other unit, can he? Because hold on, he's also want to move closer to his army objective. Yeah, I mean, you could start looking. Yeah, but you're probably not going to get 3 to 1 advantage. I mean, he could technically go 1, 2, 3 up to here, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so closer to his army objective. But then it's only him 4 against 3, because remember, this isn't active. And his buddies could join him, technically. 4, 8, 11 against 3. So that is more than 3 to 1. Now, hold on, we'd only get 2 units in there though. So it'd be 8 against 3. So it's not 9 against 3. Yeah, I think you could only get, I could only get 8 against 3. There. If more than one hex is close to the objective, move to hex adjacent to an allied unit against which the moving unit has a combat strength advantage, so it's 3 to 1. Include in this calculation all German units adjacent to the target. So in actual fact, it doesn't say active German units there, just all German units adjacent to the target. So if I did move that 4 strength unit into there, I would have 7 against 3. Okay, that's not 3 to 1 either. But I would also be considering active units that are proximate to the target that have not yet moved. So the other guy on the other 4 strength unit could move. So then we would have 11, the 2 lower units, 8, and that 11 against 3. And that is 3 to 1. So if no hex or more than one hex, because that one does actually work technically, I think, and so does that hex. So if if no hex or more than one hex offers a 3 to 1 advantage, move to the hex closest to the objective. Well, that doesn't help us either, because that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. So we need a tiebreaker. 9.22 on the same page, 27. If more than one destination hex meets the requirements of a given movement method, move to the hex closest to the unit's army objective marker. Well, we've already said they're both the same. When hexes are equidistant from an army objective, move to the hex furthest in the compass direction indicated on the marker, then to the northernmost hex if a choice remains. Now, is the map as is? It is, isn't it? North's up. Is there a compass? Yeah, there's a compass up there. Yeah, north is as you would expect or hope. It's up the way. So, it wants, and the army objective has west. So that's that way, to the left. So what's the closest hex to the left? That one up there, or that one there. You can see that this one is more west away. Okay? It would be a bit daft for it to go up there, and I think, but the rules have covered it. The movement tiebreakers there have covered it as well. Makes more sense. I mean, you know. Okay, so I believe now the other important rule is tactical adjustments when moving adjacent to allied units. These adjustments apply to all movement methods in which a German unit is moving adjacent to an allied unit and take priority over instructions in a given movement method. These adjustments also apply to German units moving via the reinforced battle combat tactic during a German attack. So there's two preferences here. It wants to prefer an unoccupied adjacent hex. So, and then it says, if a unit would end its move in a hex occupied by a German unit and adjacent to an allied unit, check to see if the unit could reach an unoccupied hex adjacent to the same allied unit. If so, move to the unoccupied hex. And then the second preference is, prefer adjacent hexes not at cross river. If a unit would end its move in a hex adjacent to and across a river from an allied unit, check to see if a hex adjacent to the same allied unit and not across a river is reachable. If so, move there instead. The tiebreaker between the two is moving to an unoccupied hex takes precedence over avoiding a cross river hex. But remember, you've also got some extra tiebreakers as well that we just looked at. Okay, so yeah, I mean, although he's moving into there, that's what he's wanting to move, he's getting closer, blah, 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 but he's moving adjacent to this allied unit. Can he get to a hex that's unoccupied? No, he can't. He's got to stop when he comes across there. So, and this guy was the same. He had to stop when he came across. This guy was the same. He had to stop. So it's not that they could creep around or anything like that. So select number 4 is coming in here as well. Now, remember, we just read, unfortunately, I'm glad I did read it, because I would maybe be considering moving 6 across there as well, but it did just say that we're restricted to only one unit coming across, aren't we? Bridge River, hex sides. There's no limit to the number of units that may cross the Bridge River hex side unless the hex being entered is in enemy's control. Only one unit may cross a given bridge hex side into an enemy controlled hex in a single activation, even if the hex moved into it is friendly occupied. So this is friendly occupied. That's the one unit move, so he cannot now move across there. Right, but I'm sorry folks, I'm going to have to stop because I didn't have as much time as I've taken here as well, to be honest. I'm over my sort of over time here. I know I'm leaving things right in the middle. So, but hopefully I can I put a little cube, I kind of use my cubes for, yeah, I've got a yellow one somewhere as well, haven't I? Where are they? Well, I know what I'm doing. I can look at the video as well. And you can see that I've moved these 4 units. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units still to try and move. We're moving them with movement methods 10 to 13. So I'm going to be now looking at selector number 6 and seeing if I can move in my movement method 10, then 11, then 12, then 13. Right, I don't know what page. I would like to leave the book open at that page as well, but I've lost it. Moving units. Right, there we go. There's the movement methods. Right, okay. I know a rotten place to stop, but needs must, I'm afraid. So I'll be back with the next part sometime soon. Okay, cheers.